ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is Monday, January 22nd. Can't believe it's already that far into the month, actually. So going to run through, going to get right into it, just like we always do. Going to run through, do our in-depth analysis, our objective, non-biased look at the market. We're going to pretend we don't have any positions. We don't have any preconceived analysis or bias, and we're going to just see where we are, where's price, what's above us, what's below us, what could we expect moving on through the week. Where are our trading opportunities? We were already looking at a little bit of stuff in the group here, looking at Buckhorn. But we'll start over here and record this so people can see it later. So anyway, good morning, everybody. It's going to be a good week. We had a good week last week. Really good week last week. I don't know. It's been a while since we had a bad week. We'll put it that way. So yeah, 22nd, heading toward the end of the month. All right, so let's just get into it. We're going to do our in-depth, take a look at a 4-hour sweep, look at all the 4 hours, take a look at structure, try to figure out what's going on. What are we looking for? What should we prioritize as far as capital allocation? Where's the opportunity in the market? So, Bitcoin, we were just talking about this. We're down at, it's a pretty obvious range low. That's kind of what we were talking about. There's a lot of stuff that could happen here, but just in theory, it's not a short. It's obviously down. It's been down a little bit. They announced the ETF right in a major supply level. Right in it. This stuff isn't by accident. This is by design. They do this stuff on purpose. They announced the ETF approvals right there. Literally, that's not a joke. They actually did. Right in the known supply level we've been waiting for forever. They know what they're doing. And so do we. We're gonna play the game. So what we're doing right now is we're watching this. We were just saying, as far as long term, I don't know, it may not be the best idea to be long term investing here, going this close to the halving. This is our halving date, approximately, when the block reward gets cut in half. Again, historically, it tends to sell off before that. We haven't really done that yet. So I don't know. Maybe this time is different. Maybe because of the ETF approvals. It doesn't seem to have made that much of an impact on, I think we had a good impact on sentiment for the future. But as far as current price action, it just seems to have just been a nothing burger, which is okay. That's fine. All this stuff is delayed. It was way priced in. It was forecast way ahead of time. There's no surprise. You know what I mean? They've been talking about this stuff forever. I think I was a little surprised that they were approved yet. I thought it was going to happen eventually, but not yet. Maybe next year or something like that. But yeah, so good game. Good game, Buckhorn. Let's go to the moon, I hope. But right now, we're just we're distributing. We've been up for a couple months. We're distributing at a known supply level where there are a lot of trap traders up here before. We're not going to go too deep into this. There's a lot of people trapped up here in this 40 to 60. Right at about that 50 equilibrium, there's a lot of people trapped up here. And a lot of people are going to want their money back. And it's not really the best time to buy long-term investment, but it depends. Yeah, it depends. There's a lot of schools of thought on that, and we could go into why, but we don't need to do all that right now. We got to look at other markets. But as far as the day trade's concerned, get back on task. It's not a short. We were talking about, down at the waterline here, you can see very clearly where there's a very clear range low that's been holding right around 40. 40, 41 it's been holding. So maybe, in theory, there's a reasonable possibility that we could lift up off the bottom of this range again and just maybe retest a high or something. Sure. It's something to watch. As far as the day trade is concerned, maybe buying pullbacks with a stop below the low down there. Maybe it, lower risk. Maybe it's worth a shot. Maybe you can get a 10% run out of it or something. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not the worst idea. We'll put it that way. As far as for a shorter trade, sure. Day trade or a multi-day swing, maybe. As far as a long-term investment, maybe wait. Maybe wait till it's not distributing on a high. But again, it depends on what you're looking to do. For as far as a shorter term trade or just to try to take a chance on it, there's nothing. I would rather be long than short from here. So that's that. We don't need to spend too much time on it, but because of all the stuff going on with Bitcoin, we'll spend a minute on it. Moving on, the dollar. Good game. Been all over this. We know the dollar's moving up. Some stuff we were talking about in the group. Buy side liquidity above a range consolidation, sold off. We've pushed through it. Now we're looking at other stuff. Higher on the dollar. There's a structural play here that we nailed in the group. This move, the second leg of that move, got that right off the low and then back in off the consolidation. We still haven't resolved higher. I would expect that probably adjust this a little bit. We'll leave it there. It would be completely normal for this to come up and just continue stronger. I would look for a stronger dollar here. As far as opportunity, even like early this week, like long dollar may not be a bad idea on pullbacks. When you get like a couple hours of a pullback, maybe consider buying into it. And the trade thesis being, range consolidation, just coming off the low of it, just to break the high. We have untested sellers here. It's just likely at some point that it's going to end up higher. Just price action. If it would come lower, what I wanted was it to dip back down to here so I could buy back into it. There's a gap right here too, but if it would rip down, great. I think it's probably going to come up here and do that first and then maybe something like that. Don't be surprised if it does, because we haven't retested this low yet. So it just popped up, consolidated, went a second leg. Maybe it's going to go up a little bit more, maybe even possibly break this high. And this is what we were talking about on Friday. Sometimes it'll tap that buy side liquidity pool just above that high and then sell off somewhere in here. This little consolidation right here, or in this little consolidation right here, it's possible it'll tap just above that, but that's still up. So we would, at the moment, I've got a bullish dollar bias and we'll stick with that. That's useful information. Big if true, because over the next couple days, we would just expect the dollar to be strong. So we can take that and put that in the back of our minds for as far as capital allocation. What are we going to trade? What are we looking to make some profits on? And if we have a very good idea that we have an upside bias on the dollar, stronger dollar, very likely, then that helps us make those decisions on what to risk our capital on. Oh, look at there, yen. Imagine that. Monster coming. Just saying. Monster coming on the yen. It looks like it's trying to start holding. Here we go. This was all coming off of Friday. We waited for this to come down, and we waited for the retest Friday, but we talked about this trade. This was one that we've been talking about this forever, and it's finally maybe starting to make the move. We're going to hope that that's going to be it. Long way to go on the yen. Not going to spend too much time on this, but holy crap. The opportunity here, this is the best opportunity in the market that we've identified right now. Oil on a pullback, but the yen, specifically the yen, massive opportunity. We've been waiting for this forever, talked about it till we're blue in the face. People are probably tired of hearing about it and ready to watch it go, including me. Let's go. Come on, yen. We want to watch this week. Huge opportunities on the yen this week. It's going to be like euro yen short, pound yen short, Aussie yen short, especially. Bunch of stuff. Everything against the yen, maybe dollar too, possibly. If the dollar would get up a little bit, that may set up with a dollar yen short, but we'll watch that. The dollar and the yen go the same direction a lot, and I don't really like trading that pair, to be honest. There's a very specific reason why I don't trade that pair. It has violent moves, but then long periods of chop and consolidation, and I'd rather just trade something else. Personally, it's just a personal thing. But the important part is this yen is possibly starting to make a move here. We're way, way, way down on this yen. This is wrecked. This is wrecked. As far as a nation state level currency, like this is things in trouble, man. We're at the all-time low on the yen index. This would be like if the US dollar was at the all-time low and there's not really much else to do but go up. This is the all-time low for the yen. So keep that in mind. And we got stuff looking like it's going. I mean, getting a really good candle here. It looks like right now, this current 4-hour candle, it's great. Let this close. We'll let it pull back, jump back on it. Good opportunity here. I cannot overstate this enough. Huge opportunity on the yen. Aussie dollar. That was a good bounce off the other day. If anybody caught that, we talked about that one. Kind of in between a range here, but easy, like super clean, super clean structure here. We talked about this. We've been talking about this one. Super clean. Again, bounce off the low. We would expect a retest. Untested sellers right there. Looks like money. Nothing to do but wait for it to pull back right now. We'll come back to that. That was a short that didn't go the other day. Looking for that to finish out, but the dollar stayed up. Or stayed down, which is fine. This actually looks like this is going to go down again. Still might be looking for a short here at some point, but we're waiting for the dollar to finish out first. No trade on euro dollar. This is going to end up lower eventually, but right now it's not the best entry. Get rid of this. Talk about Y real quick. The Y matters. We're just running right back into a bunch of buyers, and it's just not the best short entry. It's not an efficient entry. I think in the overall structure, the overall grand scheme of things, we're going to end up lower, but it's just not a good entry right now. So we'll skip it. It's just choppy right now. It looks like there's just this going on, and we don't know what's going to, how much mess it's going to be to catch it, and it just may not be worth it yet. Not until the dollar gets where it needs to be. So, euro yen, how about that? Boom. 672 pips, right to target, sold off, started to distribute, lower high, getting everything, like the whole thing is running. Lower high, now come up, center mass, rejected, bang, down. Gonna be looking way down here, probably lower than that. Where's our range? Oh yeah, that's well within our weekly range. Yeah. We're selling bullish candles on euro yen. If we close a bullish 4-hour candle on euro yen, we're selling into it. Fading euro yen, and we're looking for the yen index to be strong. Massive pullback possibility here. And this isn't, let me put this into perspective. This isn't low. This is way up on a high, potentially making a lower high. Possibly. So at least some kind of a pullback, even if it does hold and go into a range. But there's a very high probability of yen strength, very high probability of a pullback here. If you do the traditional charting thing, which we don't do here, you may have recognized this before. Do you really want to buy that? I didn't think so. It's not a long, clearly. We're only looking to sell pullbacks on this. Big opportunity in the yen. Write that down. Like, what was that movie? Was it Van Wilder? Write that down. Euro pound. Messy. This has been messy for a while. Long periods of chop between the euro and the pound. They just tend to go the same direction since Brexit. I don't know what happened to Brexit, but they've been going, it's been really choppy. There's a big trend right here, back the end of last year, but it's been pretty choppy lately. Kind of nothing here, kind of back on a big, massive range low. Not really much to say here between the euro and the pound. Waiting for this to come. Oh man, definitely waiting for this. Waiting for this to come back. Kind of giving away some stuff we're looking for here. But we keep catching this on EuroCAD. We're waiting for I mean, there's just big opportunities right now, and some of the euro pullbacks, specifically euro CAD. Big opportunities here. We want to try this. We want to try to catch this transition to the higher low. Just money. There's just money all over the place right now. There's huge opportunities in the market. Big trade opportunities, like big swings. There's a lot that could happen here. At minimum, some retest up here. Probably, watch obviously like this kind of stuff, just in its simplest form. No super secret strategy here yet, but we're just looking at structure right now. PA and market cycle structure. What is the market actually doing? What should we expect? Where's the money going to be? Where's it likely to slow down? If we just wait for, something like that, that's a very good probability of a higher low. There's just money all over the place right now. Euro CAD. It's going to be a good week. It's going to be a really good couple weeks coming up trading. Euro Kiwi, we need this to pull back a little bit. We already got this. Nailed it. Within 2 pips, I think it was, from the low. Still going. Nailed it. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Nailed it. But yeah, you technically hit target. We want this to pull back and possibly try to get in it again. See if it's going to retest up here on the high. Not there yet. This was part of the euro stuff. We need the euro to pull back a little bit. Kind of run through this quickly. This actually doesn't look bad. We never resolved the high up here. Our supply, our untested supply, we would probably expect this pulled back into a range. We would probably expect this to end up continuing and then breaking the high. This may be something. Euro Aussie, if it makes sense that the euro is going to be stronger than the Aussie, and this is another one, we just murdered it on the low. We were just crushing it, just crushing this market. Just untouchable, honestly. Yeah, waiting for it to go higher. Nothing to do. Just wait for it to pull back and see if we can get in it. We'll do that. Groups side. We're going to catch that. Pound dollar, pretty choppy. We keep catching it, just trading the dollar. Not really much to do here, to be honest. It's just this. It's a big range, and we're kind of close to the middle of it. Kind of leave it alone. We don't diddle in the middle. No, I don't want to restart my computer. Thank you, Windows. Yeah, not great price action here. That doesn't look great. It's struggling. Probably to there. Potential lower highs. We'll watch this. Not really much to do on pound dollar. If it'll run and break the high, it's within range. If we get a higher high this week, that's going to set up a really good short. And if it looks like it's going to go, maybe we'll take the trend, but it's not a good entry right now to go long. I don't know. We'll see. If it pulls back and the dollar makes sense, then maybe we'll go long to break the high, but I'd rather be short from a higher high up here. And that's something we're watching. Pound dollar's just kind of been in a range, choppy. Pound CAD, we just destroyed this CAD, crushed it. Still working on the retest of the high. Possible lower high, I don't know, we'll see. Kind of not much to do here. Just in a range right now. There's not a whole lot of opportunity here that's, super clean. Down here on the low, you would have either taken profit or you're waiting for it to run a little higher and see if it's going to go. Nothing to do yet. But that could develop as the week goes on. Pound yen, rejecting center mass. What do we have to do here, guys? Rejecting center mass. Pound yen short. One of the biggest opportunities in the market right now, right here. This is it. Throwing you guys a bone here on YouTube. Group side, we've been talking about this forever. We already know exactly what we're doing, but throwing you a bone here. one of the biggest opportunities in the market right there. Don't miss that. Look at 1,000+ pips. Nothing to do. Watch it, wait, get short. Watch the yen, position when the yen makes sense, and be ready with skybox seats to the show. Sitting in the skybox, gonna watch the big show on pound yen. Pound Swiss, this is weird price action. We were talking about this last week. Gonna wait for it to get higher, not doing anything. This is really grindy stuff here. It's like a grindy melt up. Just weird. And I think this has to do with the Swiss franc has been doing weird stuff lately. Last couple months, the Swiss franc has been like brutal trending, like crazy trends. And then it'll go and it just keeps going. And then it'll go the other way and just keep going. Not really trading pound Swiss much. It's not one that I trade a lot, but we watch it just because of where it was. It was on a big lower low down here. I think we were watching it, but I think I had taken it off my watch list. Nuke it from the watch list. We don't really mess with that one much. It's just very low volatility. It didn't used to be as bad, and it just doesn't move. Like it moves like 65 pips in a day or something like that. That's just not enough. Yeah, I'll risk my capital on something else. Where were we? What is this? Pound Aussie. So that pushed through. Watching to see what's going on. We caught that to break the high the other day. We had that short, I remember, all the way down. It's like a 700 pip short. But right now, this has expanded. This broke the low of the consolidation and then went and broke the high too. So, man, I would expect it to probably pull back at some point, maybe do this kind of thing, pull back into the density here. That would be normal. And then we'll see where it goes from there. Got some untested sellers here. I don't know. We'll watch this. We'll see. We'll see what the pound itself is going to do. Is the pound going to be weak or strong? That's going to be important. We're moving through it today. Pound Kiwi. Well, let me take a sip of my coffee real quick. Hold on 1 second. That's good. Flavored coffee is caramel flan flavored. Go figure that. That's weird. Never seen that before. It's actually good. Pound Kiwi. Good game on this, man. Again, another one of these. We were just on this all down here on the bottom. We got the low of the cycle transition right. And I mean, just monster move. Up to target. 700 pips to target. But now that we've hit, we don't want to be long anymore. I think we took this the other day, just to finish the move out. Really we should have been doing this, but it was a day trade. Should have been running to supply, which was the right trade. But we just went to, that was still like 150 pips. Yeah, but we just went to the high of the day and got out. But yeah, I mean, now what? This is one of those things where now what? At some point, the logical thing to expect is going to be some kind of a pullback. We got equal highs up here. We'll see. There's a possibility of a lower high. That does happen. Lower highs do exist. And if it runs up, we'll see where we are within the range. Yeah, our weekly range is about on the highs, so we'll look at that. Lower time frames in the group. We don't need to get in too deep into that right now. Just looking to see where this might go. What's the general direction? What should happen, basically. Good game on that though. But now it's one of those things where now we're up and it's already kind of, you would expect a distribution. It's already kind of started. A distribution of profits from the traders who bought lower and are taking profit on these. I don't know. Not really much to do here. You don't want to buy into supply after a, buku run up. What else? Yen stuff. We know that the yen is money. CAD yen. We're only looking for shorts on these. Look at this. These are 4-hour candles, but look at the long-term opportunity here. And, potentially this situation. It's big on the yen right now. Remember, the yen is at an all-time low. So the yen currency as an index is at an all-time low. It's retested the all-time low basically, and potentially making a higher low to go back up forever. Like, who knows how long? Maybe they get it together. The Bank of Japan's been fumbling the ball lately, but maybe they get it together, and you know what I mean? Maybe Japan doesn't collapse. Who knows? Maybe they fix it. But yen, and what's going to happen is this big move's coming. So we need to be ready for that potential. That's a very real possibility, right? Mr. Slithery the snake is going up the mountain. He goes up the mountain, and he slides down the mountain. He goes higher up the mountain. He slides down the mountain. He goes higher up the mountain. He slides down the mountain. He goes higher up the mountain. He slides down the mountain. He goes higher up the mountain. He slides down the mountain. He goes higher up the mountain. Can anybody guess what's next? Where's Mr. Slithery the snake gonna slither to next? Like you're talking to a 5-year-old. Mr. Slithery the snake goes up the mountain and down the mountain, up the mountain, 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 down the mountain, up the mountain. And you hand a 5-year-old a crayon and say, where's Mr. Slithery the snake gonna slither to next? And a 5-year-old goes, this way. He's gonna go down the mountain. It's not hard, guys. The risk management is hard. It's the risk management and trading that's hard. Swiss yen, same opportunity. I mean, what do you want to do? You want to buy that? What y'all gonna do? Which team are you on? Are you team longs or team shorts from here? With the yen at the all-time low, retested, and starting to go bullish again. There's no guarantees in trading, but this is about probability. It's a probability game. What do you do? What's the most likely outcome? That's a lot of what this is you're placing educated bets on what the most likely outcome is, right? That's really what it is. So what's the most probable thing that's going to happen? You going to buy this now, or are you going to sell it? All-time high, by the way, on Swiss yen. We had an all-time high on Friday. No, maybe it was earlier in the week. I remember it was this week. One of these poked. Yeah, Wednesday. So we had a new all-time high on Swiss yen. This is the all-time high. It's never been higher than this. So what are you going to do, guys and gals and whatever else? Dollar CAD. Nailed this the other day. Man, this is pulling back into this is kind of pulling back into a consolidation. This obviously has, we're going to be watching the dollar. This is one of those opportunities. There's a lot of opportunity with the CAD. There was way better entries, but I think there's still some of that exists. I don't know what that was from the other day. Rid of some of the stuff, adjust this. This is coming back down now. Watch for the dollar. Let me flip back to the dollar index real quick. There's a good chance that the dollar kind of holds this and tries to do that. That possibility exists for sure. It's already down and it's kind of retested. There's a really good possibility that this is like a range low right now, and it's just going to come lift right back up. And if that happens, dollar CAD very likely to do the same. We never resolved our unresolved sellers up here. We got money up here that's untapped as well. We got a big liquidity pool up here from December that is previously untapped. There is extended density here. We talk about an extended range consolidation where there's going to be liquidity built on both sides of that range, sell side on the bottom and buy side on the top. And this buy side is untested. It's untested, untapped liquidity. And we got some sellers up here that were correct. Mega short, then caught the long. Like we tried this a couple times from different levels and we got it finally. And we still got the profit out of it, but finally caught it. Mega run off the low. This is one of those kingmakers we were talking about. If you go back a couple of weeks on the analysis videos, you'll see it. Promise. Before it happened. 400 pip run. Good swing trade here. Very good swing. And there was more. It was Euro CAD, Pound CAD, Dollar CAD. It was a basket of the CAD. There were a lot of Aussie CAD, I think, was another one that was good. There was a lot of really good trades against the CAD when it was down here. And it just, how do we know that it's not this? That we had a range consolidation here. It pushed up and now it's developing a range at a higher level. How do we know we're not just going right back up and eventually going to break the high and test that untested supply? That's reasonable. If you look at it, that's a reasonable thing to expect. And we've already identified that the dollar is likely to be stronger. We really wanted this to go down lower, but it never broke the low. We don't need that anymore. But we caught it the first time. Higher low. Right? Higher lows do exist. We had a higher low here. It's slight, but we did make a higher low. So I would watch this swing high. Anytime you have a higher low in structure, big point here. Whenever you have that higher low in structure, whatever your current swing high is, that's going to be your target. That's where you're watching. So we got potentially a long way to go, but there's going to be noise in between that. But just keeping it real for a minute, like there's a lot of potential on this. And what if this is just retested this consolidation? You know, it's come back and retested the top of this basically. You know, maybe undo all this stuff. So that's a maybe. There's an opportunity here. We want to watch this probably for a long. Take another look at the dollar. Right now, see the dollar looks strong. You know, maybe could potentially start looking at taking action on this. We got a few more minutes till the market opens. But maybe start watching the dollar long today. As far as an opportunity, what can we do right now today to make some money? What can we do to put points on the board today? Dollar strong is probably it. As we move through it, we'll try to hurry up and get a little. We're almost done. We're almost through it. We're moving through it today. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're like doing it double time today. We're only 30 minutes in. We're almost done. Normally it's over an hour. Dollar CAD, might want to watch for a dollar CAD long today if the dollar is going to stay strong. Ooh, wait a minute. What was that? A new all-time high on Friday. Okay. Well, this is one thing that we were waiting for, is for the S&P 500 to break the high. I missed that. When did that happen? Overnight. Okay, so we pushed up to it on Friday, but it pushed overnight. Okay, so we have a new high. Okay, cool. We were waiting for this. Hold on a second. Yeah, Dow, boy, we nailed that too on Friday. Okay, cool. Yeah, you know, we're up. Oof. Boy, get them shorts ready. No, we're going to be watching today. I'll tell you that. I mean, we have a new all-time high on all three indices. What team are you going to be on? You know, what you going to do? Place your bets, folks. We have a new all-time high, so we can move that now. Good game. We waited for a couple weeks to get the all-time high on the S&P. It didn't come through. It just kept coming up here and rejecting, and the other two, the Dow and the NASDAQ, broke. All right, so, man, the opportunity in the U.S. equities market is off the charts right now. This move is, this is incredible. 18% in less than 3 months. And it was all okay. Let me put this into perspective. This was already up. Like this is like, it's not like we're on a low. Like this had been going up for a year. Pulled back a little bit. Like we were already up. Like it wasn't down on a lower low or something. And this just pulled an 18% move in less than 3 months, 88 days. Yikes. Okay. Good luck. Good luck in 2024 with your portfolios. Just saying. Just saying. Holy crap. Yeah, so we're watching for the highs, obviously, watching for the weekly highs. I think this is going to be a major focus this week. Yeah, almost 17.5% on the Dow. I know the NASDAQ was a screamer. We went long on this twice last week. Just murdered that, man. God, I wish I would have held that first one. We talked about this the other day. I was mad that I didn't hold it. I mean, come on. Come on. On the Dow Jones. Crushed it. I mean, we literally called the bottom. And supply. It went all the way. Crushed it. But I got out early. I got out like right at the top here too. And it went sideways for a couple of days and then it went again. But we did get back in on Friday. But that was a really good trade. Got back in it at least. So caught the whole move just in 2 trades. But yeah, this is a big high here. Yeah, that's actually true, Joe. That may be part of it. There's been a lot of developments with that lately with Trump and potentially, it's really, not a political statement, but it's really looking like Donald Trump is going to be the next president. All of a sudden, it's becoming very clear. So markets are possibly pricing some of that in. Still got a lot of time. But man, if they can't legally keep him out, it's really looking like Trump's going to be the next president. From what I'd seen, I think I'll not get into this, but there was an Iowa exit poll. I think when the Iowa caucuses happened the other day, it was like an entry poll or exit poll. They said the question was, do you think Joe Biden should be the next president? And like 68% said no. And that spans across into Democrats as well. That's not Republicans. That's everybody. 68% of people said no. Like, it's crazy. So, like, that's nuts. There you go. And that's who they're going to run. They're going to run Joe Biden unless some crazy thing happens, which certainly could happen. There's still plenty of time. That's what I mean. There's still a lot of time, but I don't know who they're going to run against Trump. Trump's a pro-market guy. I don't really care about the politics as much as far as in context of our trading stuff. I care about some issues for sure. I think a lot of the group people know what those issues are, but just as far as in the context of trading, we talked about this. What's going to happen to the market if Trump is reelected? Immediately, the first day, going to get those tax cuts back, those corporate tax breaks. And what do you think is going to happen? Same thing that happened last time. All these companies are going to say, oh, great, we don't have to pay taxes. So we're just going to buy our own stock back and run the stock market to the moon. Everybody is going to buy their own stock just like they did during COVID. All those Trump tax cuts, that's why that happened. That's their actual reason that the markets are up here to begin with, is all these companies got a break on the corporate taxes. So they took that money and put it into their own stock and did buybacks, like record buybacks. So it pushed the market to the moon almost artificially. There's no almost, it was artificially. Well, I wish I could take that NAS back and hold that. Holy crap. But, that's an interesting point. Somebody in the chat just made in the group chat is that, markets may be factoring in a potential Trump win. And that's a very good point. May have something to do with it. Yeah, man. God, I wish I could have that back. It's just an interesting thing to think about. Very pro-market, pro-economy, pro-corporation, like, you know what I mean? Like those tax cuts are coming back day one. and it's just going to be a free for all in the stock market. Now, in theory, game theory wise, we want this to come down a little bit, right? We want it to come down first. And we'll talk about what we see right here at the top. But we want this to come down first, obviously, at least for, a couple months. Inauguration will be, I think they vote in like November or something. Inauguration is January 2025, like right when 2025 clicks over. It's like the middle, like right now, actually, like the middle of January, I think, is when the inauguration date would be. So, there's a lot of time. We have a year. We have exactly a year before the inauguration, if that were to be the case. We're just speculating here, but if that were to be the case, we have exactly a year. So we don't really want to start that run on the high. Not really. So is there a huge opportunity to take profits here coming up, pull back a little bit, and then, see you at 20,000 on the NASDAQ, about 2025, 2026. What if, maybe not even that long, what if the end of 20, who knows? But is it going to come back? What if it does come back like a lot? Like, what if it even like we get this, comes back up, struggles, lower high, then we get one of these, comes back and breaks that low right there. Going into election season. And we're back in here, and then Trump tax cuts. You know what I'm saying? That's a realistic possibility, something to think about. We don't need to get too far into the weeds, but stuff, it pays to think about these things. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that stuff right now. I don't know. It's not looking very good for the Democrats as far as just an objective, non-biased look at politics. It doesn't look very good right now for the Democratic side. Donald Trump is gaining popularity like crazy. Ron DeSantis just got out over the weekend as a Florida resident. I'm actually glad about that. He's done a very good job in Florida. Politics aside, as far as the actual governing policy, he has crushed it as the governor. We want to keep him as the governor. As far as like Florida has no debt. We're the only state in the country with no debt. And, it's just there's just more than that. There's overall running this state like a well-oiled machine. We don't want to California the whole United States. I know that. Personally, we don't really want to do that. I don't think anybody really wants that. I'd rather Florida the United States than California the United States, personally. But yeah, I don't need to get too into politics, I guess, but it matters. We're talking about in the context of markets. One thing real quick on the NASDAQ here, back on track. But yeah, point is, if Trump is elected, watch for those corporate tax cuts to come back. Markets to the moon. Markets to the moon. But we're too high right now. Uh-oh. Shark fin. Doesn't look good right now. Looks like it's got a long way to go down. We want to probably be short here. We should have probably been short an hour ago. When that closed right there back inside, we won't get too deep into strategy here, but when we closed back inside the range, that was our signal. Just wasn't watching it. It's all right. Projected weekly lows way down here. Got a long way to go down, guys. It's a much better short than it is a long. Might want to watch this. Going to be, especially after that, probably going to be selling into bullish candles for the rest of the day. What's the probability that this pulls back just a little bit? Just easy day trade, right? And the likelihood that it ends up doing this is likely. Look at the structure. That would be normal. That would just be a normal pullback. Even just to pull back into previous high like that, it's just normal. We don't want to be long here, guys. Obviously, you don't want to be long the all-time high on something like that with that price action. It's an easy decision. It's a risk management thing. How can we manage our risk and our invalidation point? We'll just keep it simple. and say, look, if we break the high and we, get too deep up into that supply level, whatever. It's just, this one's easy, guys. Whoops. We can, very weak demand right there. We'd really be looking way, way lower here. Good Lord. Yeah, this thing's in trouble. Way lower. Doesn't look good for the NASDAQ, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you that. And it's higher by disproportionately high as well. Range low back here. I don't really need to worry about that yet. Maybe a little bit of stuff here, but if it's going to run through there, it's done. One thing we should always be aware of is a possible range like this, and then one more spike and then gone. But we're in no man's land here. There's no reference to the left. It's an all-time high, so we'll use our statistical range tool. We've got the cheat codes for this, exactly this scenario. Need to watch this one today. We're going to be looking for this, for shorts on this. All-time high. Dow too. Good game on the longs, but now that we're on a new high, there's nothing to do. There's no reference to the left. We're watching the range. Big opportunities here. Huge. One of the first things I said in the chat this morning, huge opportunity in the indices today. This is going to be a good week. We're going to watch for this to potentially put in some kind of a high and try to catch the high every day until that joker comes down. Not bad. It's not a bad risk. It's not the dumbest thing you could do. We'll put it that way. It's not a stupid thing to do, to try to look at selling the all-time highs at a reasonable level. I mean, that doesn't sound like too stupid of a thing. Let's sell the all-time high at a reasonable level. Sounds like a smart thing to do to me. We know what we're looking for here. You can wait for the price action or you can anticipate it. There's two different schools of thought on that risk management. You can get in late with higher confidence, or you can get in early with less risk. And maybe there's no answer on which one's better. Just depends on your personal risk appetite. Oil, moving on. Got the market open in here in just a few minutes. Oil, watching this one, all over it, been all over this one since it was ready. Come on, oil, man. Huge trade here, 30% move on oil. Just a big one. The macro move to retest the highs is like 30-something%. Monster. And it's stabilized on the low. A lot of nations around the world have an economic interest in oil not being too low for too long. You know what I'm saying? So let's watch this. Obviously, we're waiting for this to come back. We're looking to buy the low of the week if we can. Whatever the low of the week is, we're trying to buy it every week. And we're waiting for this to scoop its way up. We're in this distribution. It's kind of doing this thing. We're looking for eventually whatever it's going to do, whatever route it takes, maybe it'll pop up and go into a range like this. And then maybe it'll take another ride up. It's possible. But remember that it's not likely that it's going to stay down here at 70 forever. It's just not likely. You know what I mean? It's about probability sometimes, a lot of times in trading. What's the most likely thing to happen? Oil isn't dead yet. It's on its way out, but on a longer time frame. It's not like it's dead this year or next year or anytime soon. Over the next 20 years, there's going to be less dependence on oil, but less, not complete dropped of it. Yeah, we want to see this lower, but huge opportunity on oil. The point is we want to be long on oil, just maybe not from the top of the range. Moving on, gold. We kind of talked about the dollar already going a little higher. It would be normal for gold to come down a little bit, to be honest. I wish this would happen. Sorry, gold bulls, but I wish that would happen. That would really set us up with a better trade. If we would just come on back and break this low again. If it would just do it. And if we could finish this gap out right here. Been watching this one. We're just waiting for it to retest untested buyers down here. And the dollar is also bullish. We know that they have a yin and yang relationship, almost a binary relationship, inversely correlated. They're negatively correlated, inversely correlated, which means as the dollar goes up, gold tends to go down and vice versa. And it looks like the dollar is probably going to be bullish, right? We've already kind of figured that out. It's most probable that it's going to come up here and retest up here somewhere. So if the dollar is bullish, we may not want to be heavily long on gold yet. And it depends on where it's from. And there's going to be pullbacks, of course. It depends on where it is. But we're talking about just in general, kind of, this kind of stuff going on right now. It's not really looking very good. That stuff tends to resolve to the downside. If the dollar is going to be bullish, there just may be this relentless down pressure on gold that just, does this kind of crap. It's possible. So, I'm not saying it's a short. I'm actually kind of saying it's no trade. And very specific reason why. Got a swing high and a swing low, and we're pretty close to the middle of it. We're kind of oscillating around the middle. It's not really an efficient place to enter. We talk about that a lot. Positional advantage in the group. Is there a positional advantage here? By what I mean by that is there an advantage in the position that you're taking where you have a higher probability of going one direction than the other? And if not, then, sometimes if something is a little too neutral, maybe there's not really a good opportunity there if it's neutral. We're far away from the swing high. We're far away from the swing low. We're both, we're neutral here in the middle, unless that changes. If the dollar goes strong and, this thing starts to come down here, well, now we got a different scenario. Now, all of a sudden, it's more likely to go up than down. If we come up here, now all of a sudden, it's more likely to go down than up. And we'll make that decision at a better spot. That's the point. Throwing YouTube a bone there. It's one of the things we talk about a lot, the positional advantage. It matters, trust me. But as far as gold is concerned, the point is we're pretty neutral. Overall, there's a case to be made that we are very neutral. Like, we're super neutral here, like as far as our positioning within the range consolidation itself. Just the overall movement, like you start to see it just squeezing in like this, like it's just not really great. It's not a great place to take a position from. It could go up, it could go down about equally. Now, intraday, as far as day trades are concerned, we'll have to take a look at it, but we'll, see what direction the dollar's going. What's going on? What's the stock market doing? It looks like the dollar's probably going to be stronger, so we may just skip gold today. There's a case to be made here that gold is at the bottom of a range. There's a reasonable case that you can make there. Say that we're probably closer to the low of this than to the high of the current range. But if the dollar goes strong, it's just going to break. It'll be down here just like that. And that would make more sense. I know there's a lot of gold traders. We'll spend a minute on it. There's a lot of people trade gold. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of right in between. We're in between our effective trading ranges here, like our range low and our range high, where our supply is likely going to be and our demand is likely going to be down here. So we're kind of right in the middle. It's not really the best place to be trading from. I could see how this could end up doing this as the dollar goes strong. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll watch it and see. As far as lower time frame stuff, we don't need to get too deep into this on YouTube, but yeah, it's on the weak side. We're on the bearish side of equilibrium. We would expect also, yeah, statistically, our projected low is going to be in demand right where we were just looking at. So I think there's your answer right there. Likely going to be down on gold today. That's where I would bet. If I had to bet, I just probably may skip it and try to look for something else. But it's not bad. I mean, I would rather be short than long here. And we'll see if the dollar holds and retests the high. And that could be actually a good day trade. Short gold, and when the dollar pops up, just get out and wait and see what happens. Look at the yen here. That was a good candle on the yen. 4 minutes to market open. Actually, we'll probably switch over here and do group stuff on the market open. What's the big takeaway here? Quickly, Buckhorn, good game. It's down on a big range low, but not really the best situation. But it's not a short. It's not a good short from here, especially like low to mid time frame. Forget about it for now. The ultra aggressive play on Bitcoin is to buy for the next day or two and then get out. But that's aggressive. Dollar likely going to be stronger, but there's no guarantee there. I mean, I think it's likely going to retest that high and then sell off. I think what's going to happen is this and then that. And then there may be a long opportunity on gold. The yen looks incredible. Good shift bar off the low. Higher lows, good shift. We want to be buying into pullbacks here. We probably want to be positioning on the yen today, guys. Today is probably the day to start positioning on these pullbacks, to try it. I'm going to be doing it myself. The yen is the big opportunity right now. Nothing on Aussie dollar, euro dollar, skip it for now. We'll wait for the dollar to hit that supply level. Euro dollar is kind of messy. Skip it. Euro yen, obviously, opportunities here. It's pulling back center mass. Nothing wrong with positioning on this and seeing what happens. We want to sell as high as we can, but we really, really, really want to be watching this yen today. That looks like that's trying to bounce. Skip it. Nothing on EuroCAD. A little bit lower on EuroCAD. We have an opportunity coming on EuroCAD. This is important. Let me set an alert here if I have any left. Take a sip of my coffee. And throw you guys a bone here. EuroCAD, watch that down there. Trust me. Euro Kiwi, nothing. Skip it. Euro Aussie, probably going higher, but skip it for now. Pound dollar doesn't look great. We talked about that. Pound CAD's already high. Pound yen, big opportunity. One of the biggest opportunities. We're sitting way up on the high, guys. Like Megatron high up here. Rejecting center mass across, projected out. I mean, it's hard to get better than this as far as opportunity. Watch pound yen. That needs to be part of the basket on the yen. When that yen goes, you want to be in pound yen. Pound kiwi, same situation. It's just in supply. Nothing to do there yet. There's an argument to be made here for a day trade short. Top of the range. Just a short supply. And when it pops down, you get out or move a stop to break even and see if you get lucky and maybe it goes. I wouldn't want to be long here. Short on a higher high or now in supply with a stop above the high. Reasonable opportunity. CAD yen, one of the basket. It's obvious shifting off the high right now. Big shift bar off the high. Got the market open in here. We got to switch over. Swiss yen. What's the main takeaways? Holy crap on the highs on the stock market is the main takeaway. Here we go. So market's opening. We're going to switch over. It looks like the Dow's going the opposite direction of the Nas today. We're looking to sell the high of the day on the NASDAQ, guys, for sure. And we're going to switch over and watch that now. Oil, nothing yet. Gold, we talked about. If the dollar goes bullish, expect this to go lower. But if it makes a lower low down here and closes that gap out this week, it's within the weekly range. This may be later in the week. We probably want to be looking to buy the low of the week on gold because of where the dollar is. And it could be like we just have an up week on the dollar this week. We just have we close a bullish candle on the dollar, and we kind of wilt down a little bit, kind of roll over on gold. So, we got stuff to watch. Right now, we need to pay attention to the equities market. We're going to flip over and do that. Everybody have a good trading week. We're going to switch over, do some group stuff, see if we can put some points on the board. We had a really good trading week last week. We're going to do that again. I have a feeling this week is going to be good. A lot of good opportunities. Not much has changed since Friday, but maybe something's starting to happen here. We're watching this, looking for the highs today. I mean, it's reaching. We're sitting at I can't believe this. Just pushing the all-time high. So yeah, we need to probably pay attention to this. See those longs were right. God. Yeah, so we need to watch for the high today, looking to sell the high of the day today, and we're gonna watch our stuff here. Everybody have a good trading week. Get those pips, put them in the bag, and we'll check in later in the week and see what's going on. Everybody have a good one.